the class of Network Security and Cryptography Fundamentals. Today I am going to discuss about Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm. Before discussing in detail about the Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm, first we are supposed to understand about the objective and outcome of learning the same algorithm. So what will be the objective of learning the Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm? That is, we will learn new encryption technique, and that is also the that also use the public key cryptography between the two communicating parties, so that the information that could be shared is secret to only two parties that are communicating. And the outcome, the data will be maintained, data will be integrated, high integrity rate will be achieved, and highly secure data will be received. So let us discuss about the techniques that are used for the encryption. So there are basically two techniques for encrypting information. As I have discussed earlier in previous lectures, there are two techniques, that is symmetric and asymmetric encryption. Symmetric encryption mean to say it is a called secret key encryption, and asymmetric, in which two keys will be used, that is a public key and a private key encryption. So the basic difference between the two is that only one key will be used for the symmetric encryption, that is available to the both the parties. But in asymmetric encryption, one key is publicly available, but one key is available to the only intended receiver who wants to decrypt the information from the channel. So what is the history behind the Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm? It was developed by Diffie and Martin in 1976, and this algorithm was devices not to encrypt the data but to generate the same private cryptography key at both ends, so that mutual communication between the two parties will take place, and there is no need to transfer this key from one communication end to the another, because the key would be a mutual understanding between the two parties who are communicating over the network without telling the details to the network. So next is, what is actually Diffie-Hellman algorithm? Actually, as the name implies, algorithm means to say it will involve several number of steps in order to conclude in the end. So there will be various steps that one must follow in order to achieve the Diffie-Hellman key cryptography in the network security. So what is basically Diffie-Hellman algorithm is, it is the asymmetric encryption, okay, that requires data transfer of the cryptographic private key. And the most challenging part in this type of encryption is the transfer of the encryption key from sender to the receiver without anyone intercepting this key in between, because without the information to the underlying browser that is being used, or I can say internet, the two parties will be exchanging the information between the two, and that could be kept secret because it is the mutual understanding between the two parties. So this transfer, or rather than generation on same cryptographic keys at both sides secretively, was made possible by Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm. Just have a look at all the slides that I have discussed. What is basically Diffie-Hellman key algorithm? Why we are going to study about the same? What is the objective of the same? And which technology will be used in order to handle the Diffie-Hellman key algorithm? It is public key cryptography. Two keys will be used. So next is Diffie-Hellman, that is algorithm. It is an algorithm that allows two parties to get the shared secret key using the communication channel, which is not protected from the interception but is protected from the modification, so that nobody in between can modify the content that is being transferred or shared between the two parties, that is sender side and receiver side. So this is the example of the actual implementation of the algorithm, there are two parties, that is Alice and Bob, in which I am supposed to send the information. So what is the role of Alice, what is the role of Bob? We can understand these roles by applying the algorithmic steps to this algorithm technique. So what will be the first step? Just have a look at all the steps that have been written here, because if we study these parts or these points, we keep in mind, then we will be able to conclude with the algorithm, or we will be able to proceed with the algorithm that is being discussed. So the first step in public key cryptographic is, that is Alice and Bob want to exchange an encryption key over an insecure communication link where Eva is listening in. Eva is any party that is listening to the communication that is happening between the Alice and the Bob. To do this, they need to use a prime number. So Diffie-Hellman algorithm uses a simple concept in mathematics where a prime number can be used to generate a list of numbers in a seemingly random sequence, and the seemingly random sequence is what makes the algorithm secure. Because if you are using a prime number, for example, you are using one number, one, so it is very easy to decrypt the information from one number, because it is very basic number. It does not include any complex computation. So it would be easy to deduce the key, basic key behind the same. So you are supposed to use the prime number that is complex and large to conclude. So it is, encryptions are based on the prime numbers that you are supposed to choose at your own risk. So better the more complex is the prime number, more difficulty will be for the hacker to hack the underlying information. So similarly, you are supposed to proceed with the first step in Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm. Just have a look at all the key points that I have discussed, because you are supposed to proceed with the algorithm in the same manner that is being discussed in these points. So just have a look at all these steps. Just have a look at all these steps. Because the Diffie-Hellman key algorithm is being used to establish a shared secret that can be used for secret communications while exchanging data over a public network using the elliptic curve. Elliptic curves will be used. So, and get the secret using the parameters. Various parameters will be used, various steps will be taken. So for the sake of simplicity and practical implementation of the algorithm, we are supposed to consider only four variables. One is prime number P and G, that is a primitive root of the P, one prime P and G, and two private values of A and B. So these will be taken into the account. Next is P and G are both publicly available numbers. P and G, these are publicly available numbers. So users, say Alice and Bob, pick private values A and B, and they generate key and exchange it publicly. The opposite person receives the key and generates a secret key, after which they have the same secret key to encrypt. So how this is mathematically possible? First is Alice, second is Bob. Let's have a look at the next slide. Yes. Alice and Bob. Alice and Bob are being there. So here it is Alice, here it is Bob. So public key available is P and G. Public key available is P and G. Private key selected is A. Private key selected is B. Because Alice will select one private key, Bob will select another private key. So the key generated is equal to, it is having the formula. If you are supposed to generate a key, then in cryptography or in network security, you are supposed to follow the mathematical instructions, and in mathematical instructions there will be formulas, there will be matrix computations that will be involved in order to achieve the high end security in encryption and decryption process in network security. So in the same manner, we are going to perform the mathematical algorithm, and in mathematical algorithm we are supposed to keep an eye on the formula that is being used, because the formula is to be a formula is to be known beforehand, we are supposed to do any calculation based on the same. So the formula for the key generation is x is equal to g. You can write it down. X, small x, is equal to g raised to power a. G is public key, G raised to power A is private selected key, into modulus of P. We have calculated so many modulus in all the previous algorithms that have been discussed. So you can easily calculate the value of the modulus of the P that will be given. So X is equal to G raised to power A modulus of P in Ellie's side, and in Bob's side it will be Y is equal to, you can have a look at, y is equal to g raised to power b, because it will be private key b, into modulus of p, public key, that is into modulus of p. So you can do the same. Let's do this first step. Then because it is very complex algorithm, so you are supposed to do it with full concentration. Next is exchange of the generated keys taking place. So what is that? Key received is Y in Alice and key received is X in Bob. Obviously keys have been exchanged. So next is generated secret key, generated secret key. What will be the same? Key will be equal to, write down the formula, key, that is K, and you can write in subscript of the K. I can just tell you here in the slide, you can write it as subscript. Subscript mean to say, let's say I'm giving you the example K, and if I am supposed to choose the subscript here, just wait, I am this is not available in my PPT presentation software, but it is normally available when we compute the mathematical calculations. Let me just do okay, just you can do this. Let's say this one is a comma, and now this comma you can take it as the subscript of the K, subscript of the K and A. So you can write it here as the K and A. K of the A is equal to Y raised to power A exponential sign A into modulus of P. In the same manner, we are using Y raised to power A. Similarly, we are supposed to write at the footer of the K, A. At the footer of the K, we are supposed to write A in the generated secret key. So it will be the formula, which is equal to Y raised to power A into modulus of P. And on the other hand, it will be K. In the footer of the K, there will be B, which is equal to X raised to power B into modulus of P. So algebraically, I can say mathematically, it can be shown as K of A is equal to K of B. So now we have a symmetric key that is used to encrypt the data. For example, there will be various steps. Alice and Bob get public key numbers. For example, P is equal to 23 and G is equal to 9. P is, you can write this number, P is equal to 23 and G is equal to 9. P is equal to 23 and G is equal to 9. Next is second step. First is we are supposed to choose the numbers P23 and G is 9. It is the prime number. Next is 2. Alice selected a private key which is A and B. We are supposed to select, that is A is equal to 4 and B is equal to 3. So next step is 3. Alice and Bob compute public values that I told you in the formula, that is X is equal to 9 raised to power 4 into modulus of 23, which is equal to 6561 modulus of 23. I am just giving you the example here. Just wait. I am writing the whole text there. Just wait. Because just wait. You can have a look at the end. I am showing you the uh, live example here. Yes. Just have a look at the real example. I am supposed to just adjust the same in my no. Just have a look at all the steps. Okay, before wasting any time, I am just telling you. Okay, I am just telling you, you are supposed to write the same. I am telling you because I already told you the formulas how to compute the same. Just in step 3, you are supposed to compute the values in the manner that is written here. Just have a look at the formula that I have given it to you. It was, I did not mention it here in the slides. You can write it down. You can write it down. Again, I am repeating with the formulas. Alice, Bob, select the two prime numbers. Okay, P and G, P and G. Private key A will be selected by one, and the another will be selecting the B private key. Next key generation is having the formula X is equal to G raised to power A into modulus of P. So in that manner, I am calculating the same value. X is equal to G raised to power A modulus of B. Similarly, modulus of B, that is 23, 9 raised to power 4 into modulus. Just wait, I can do this for you. Let's say this is the first step. Okay, this is the first step that I am going to discuss here. Yes, this is the first step. Just have a look. Alice and Bob get public numbers. P is equal to 23 and G is equal to 9. Now I am proceeding with the next step, that is because these are mathematical calculations that you have to perform parallelly with me in order to understand the same. Next is Alice selected a private key A is equal to 4 and Bob selected a private key B is equal to 3. So here till now, till step 2, I think points are clear to you. If you are having any confusion, raise a hand. Next is step 3 that I told you, to apply a particular formula. How to apply the same? This one is the case. Now see, Alice and Bob compute public key values. Alice is equal to X because he is going to compute the value of the X. X is equal to 9 raised to power 4. Why 4? Because it is A. 9 is G raised to power A is 4 into modulus of P, which is 23. So in the same manner, you are supposed to calculate the value of Y as well as you have calculated the value of the X. So Y will be 9 raised to power 3. 9 means to say G raised to power 3, that is B into modulus of P. So it will be 16 and it will be 6. So 6 and 16 will be the interpretations in the step 3. So I am removing these 3 steps so that I can tell you the 4th step. Just take a snapshot of this. I am telling you about the 4th step. So what will be the 4th step? I am just telling you to exchange the public numbers. Next is the 4th step. It is bit mathematical, so you require patience as well in order to understand the same. So Alice and Bob exchange public numbers. So this will be the 4th step. So next is the 5th step, because it requires huge calculations. Have a look. Okay. Step 5. Alice received public key Y, data is generated in the third step 16, and Bob received public key X is equal to 6. Okay. Next is the step 6, which is Alice and Bob compute symmetric keys. Alice is equal to Ka, as I told you earlier, is equal to Y raised to power A into modulus of P. In the same manner, we are supposed to calculate the same, and in the end, we are receiving it as 9. Similarly, Bob is also generating the key as 9. So what will be my answer? 9 is the shared secret key. 9 is the shared secret key. So in this way, you are supposed to do the calculations in Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm. Again, I am repeating the step. Again, I am writing all the steps here. 4, 5, 6, 7 are written here, and 1, 2, 3, I am giving you the quick recap of 1, 2, 3 steps. Just have a look. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I am giving you the quick recap of 1, 2, 3 steps. It is not possible here to write. Okay, I am just writing it here, and I will delete it soon. Okay, just have a look. Step 1, step 2, then step 3. Let me reduce the size so that you can have the clear understanding of the mathematical problem that I have discussed so far. So, bache, so these are the first 3 steps, and next 3 steps I will discuss. Step 1, again I am telling you, select 2 public numbers, P is equal to 23, G is equal to 9. Step 2 is select the private key, A is equal to 4, Bob selected the private key, B is equal to 3. Because in slides, I can give you the visual representation. I cannot give you the mathematical calculation. So it would be difficult for you to calculate to interpret the calculated interpretation in the form of the visual representation. So that is why I am telling you step by step here how the Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm proceed. So this is the first step. Alice and Bob get public numbers, P is equal to 23, G is equal to 9. And the second step is they are sharing a private key, that is A is equal to 4 and B is equal to 3. So next step is third step. They both compute the values in the range of the formula X is equal to G raised to power A into modulus of P. X is equal to G raised to power A into modulus of P. In the same manner, Y is equal to, Y will be having the same representation but with the opposite, in the opposite sense. So 9 raised to power 4 into modulus of 23, which is equal to 9 into 9 multiplied by 4. 9 into 9 into 9 into 9. Then it will be 6561 into modulus of 23. After calculating the values 6521 into modulus of 23, it is generating the value of 6. Similarly, Bob, which is equal to Y. Y is equal to 9. 9 raised to power 3 into modulus of 23. 9 into 9 into 9, which will be 729 into modulus of 23. We are supposed to calculate the value as 16. So these two values will be resultant in the step 3. First is P and G, second is private keys, third is the calculation for the key generation. Next is the algorithm that I have discussed here. Step 4, Alice and Bob exchange public numbers. Okay, Alice received public key 16, Bob received public key X, that we have discussed in third step. So next is Alice and Bob compute symmetric keys. Alice is equal to Ka, which is equal to Y raised to power A into modulus of P, which will be 65,536 into modulus of 23, which is equal to 9. And similarly, B B will be written in subscript. Bob of K of B is equal to, which is equal to x raised to power B into modulus of P, which is equal to 216 into modulus of 23, which is equal to 9. So what will be the result? 9 is the shared secret key, as we can know in the sixth step, that 9 is the shared secret key. So in this way, we are supposed to proceed with the algorithm of the Diffie-Hellman key exchange. I am removing all the steps that I have discussed so far, because it was just for your understanding, so that you can compute it in an efficient manner and you will not face any difficulty what I am telling you about. So this was the actual representation. Now I am coming to the visual representation. So these are the main steps. I hope you must have read while I have given you the time for the same. So next is step 1. Ellis and Bob agree on prime number P is equal to P. Next is step 2. Ellis and Bob agree on primitive root of their prime number. Let us test if the number 3 is a primitive root of 5. G raised to power positive whole number less than our P. That we already computed in the third step. So then we set upper limit. Upper limit. That is why I am writing the limits. So then we are supposed to, this is nothing. This was for your understanding. So then we are supposed to set our upper limit of our output to the value of our prime by getting the remainder after division. That is 3 modulus of 5 will be 3, 9 modulus of 5 will be 4, 27 modulus of 5 will be 2, 81 modulus of 5 will be 1. So now that we have found our primitive root, we will note this value is G is equal to 3. So why I am running so fast? Because I already told you about all the algorithms, about all the encryption and decryption processes and all the modulus details, like we have discussed modulus in all the previous algorithms. So that is why I am just going through the steps, and I already detailed you about the steps that we are supposed to follow in Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm. So this is the basic representation how the things will proceed in Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm. So this is the step 2. I told you in the layman language, and this is the actual representation of the step 2. Just have a look at, I am giving you the time of the 2 minutes. Just have a look at it. If you do not understand anything in step 2, let me know. Have a look at it quickly. So next is Ellis and Bob. Okay. This one is the third step. Ellis chooses a positive whole number as her secret key, which is equal to 6. Next is Ellis compute her public key and send it to the Bob. The formula that we already applied, which is equal to G raised to power A into modulus of P, or which is the actual representation, 3 raised to power 6 into modulus of 5. These are very shorter numbers. You are supposed to select the random number that is very huge and that is difficult to compute. So next is step number 5. Bob chooses a positive whole number as his secret key, which is equal to 7. So next is step 6. Bob compute his public key and send it to the Ellis, which is this 2. So 7th step is Ellis and Bob now compute a shared secret key. Shared key is equal to other person's public key into their own secret key into modulus of P, which is equal to 4 raised to power 7 modulus of 5. Ellis S is equal to 2 raised to power 6 into modulus of 5, which is 4. So this is the whole algorithm. How does it proceed? Just have a pictorial representation of this algorithm. Just have a look at all the pictorial representation of the algorithm, because I am going to discuss some questions about this topic with you today, so that you can have a better understanding about this topic. Just have a look at the algorithm. Just have a look what the picture is saying. Again, I am telling you, because I am discussing today only Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm. So the first step is private key, which key, this is key. It is not showing with you with the character representation, it is showing you with the graphical representation. So this is the private key, which is equal to 5, and this is the private key, which is equal to 4, because two keys will run parallelly. So agree upon two number P. P is the prime number, which is equal to 13, and G generator of the P, which is equal to 6. So next is randomly generate a private key, which is 5 and which is 4. It is 5 and it is 4. So next is 6 raised to power 5 into modulus of 13. Then 6 raised to power 4 into modulus of 13. This is 6 into 6. We are supposed to multiply 6 into 5 times, into the multiples of 5, into the multiples of 6, but 5 times. 6 into 6, 36 into 6, then 6 into 6. Then in the end, we were computing 7776 into modulus of 13, which is the public key, which we will get as 2. So next is on the other hand side, there will be 6 raised to power 4 into modulus of 13. 6 into 6, 36, 36 into 36, which is 1296 into modulus of 13. So the public key, which is equal to the 9. So here you can see here, we are performing calculations on the extreme left hand side and right hand side. In the middle, there are the techniques that are given here for your reference, so that you do not get confused with what is happening in the algorithm. So as I told you earlier, I told you step by step, but this is the pictorial representation. If you are looking at the pictorial representation, because you have already looked at the step by step conversion of the algorithm, so it would be easy for you to deduce the practical details of the algorithm. So on the left and on the extreme left hand and on the extreme right hand, there will be the calculations that are being performed, and in between, that is the center, there are the formulas that are being used, that how the private key will be selected, how the numbers will be generated, how the calculations will be performed, and how we will proceed with the algorithm. So this was the second step, that is calculate public key, that is G. Here the formula is given, G raised to power private number, or the key that we have used, that is 5, into modulus of the P. So exchange the keys, public keys will be exchanged, blue will given here, and orange will be going to this side. So I can say left hand side is going to the right hand side and right hand side is going to the left hand side, as we generally do in all the encryption algorithms, because in all the previous algorithms that I have discussed so far, we just create the two halves of the bit that are going to be shared. If it is the 32-bit algorithm, then we are generating two halves in the form of 16-bit and 16-bit. So the left hand side of the 16-bit half is fed to the right hand side of the 16-bit half, and right hand side 16-bit half is fed to the left hand side of the 16-bit half. And in the end, we are supposed to do the swapping, so that we can combine the result in the end in order to produce the ciphertext. And in the same manner, by using if we are supposed to decrypt the data, then we are using the ciphertext with the help of key, so that we can generate the plain text. So same is the case here, we are using keys, we are swapping them, and in the end we are receiving the result. So after swapping, we are doing 9 raised to power 5 into modulus of 13, which is equal to 9 into 9 into 9 into 9 into 9, which is equal to 59049 into modulus of 13, that is shared secret key is 3, because after calculating the whole part, you will get the 3 number. So next is same, calculate the shared secret, shared public raised to power private into modulus of P, that is 2 raised to power 4 into modulus of 13, 2 to the 4 to the 8 to the 16. So similarly 16 will be here into modulus of 13, which is equal to shared secret, which is equal to the 3. So in this way, the shared secret is the 3 number. So if you are having any query, you can ask me. Just have a look at this. Also, Alice, Bob, Common paint, okay, shared in the clear, okay, plus secret colors, it is showing the, it is just another, I can say, uh, graphical representation of learning the algorithm, that how the algorithm proceeds. So this is the orange color and this is the yellow color is common, but orange is secret, see green is secret. So next is it is generating plus this, if we are going to the perform addition on this, then we are generating a brown color, light brown color, again we are generating the sky blue color, then it will be exchange public transport, then assume that the mixture separation is expensive, mixture separation is expensive, so secret colors are getting added, and here this one is added, so the common secret is deduced, so the common secret is deduced. Have a look at the picture and have a look at this algorithm. I am giving you the time of 2 minutes, just have a look. Okay, I hope you understand the Diffie-Key-Hellman exchange algorithm in detail and in the interactive manner, because I have shown you the multiple examples by step algorithmic representation, then again step by step by using the graphical representation, then again I am giving you the overview about the same in the form of the picture, then again there is some another graphical representation of learning this algorithm. You can choose any one technique so that you can have the better understanding of this algorithm. So next I am going to discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of the algorithm. Just have a look, we will discuss one by one. So what are the advantages and what will be the disadvantages of Diffie-Key-Hellman exchange algorithm? Just have a look at these. The first one is the sender and receiver have no prior knowledge of each other. Okay, these are the advantages. Second is communication can take place through an insecure channel. Okay. Next is sharing of secret key is very safe. Sharing of secret key is safe. Next is disadvantages. Disadvantages are a problem with asymmetric encryption, however, is that it is slower than the symmetric encryption. It requires far more processing power to both encrypt and decrypt the content of the message. So what will be the advantages? What will be the disadvantages of using the Diffie-Key-Hellman exchange algorithm? Just have a look. That is, the sender and receiver have no prior knowledge. Obviously, we have discussed they are not having any knowledge about the each other. So communication can take place through insecure channel, that is not secure, and sharing of secret key, that is very safe. So next is disadvantages. Disadvantages mean to say a problem with asymmetric encryption. Asymmetric encryption mean to say it is that it is slower than the symmetric encryption. So because why it is slower? Why it is lower? Two keys are used, and in that only one key is used. So that is why it is the disadvantage. And then next is it requires far more processing power to both encrypt and decrypt the content of the message. Obviously, if we are using two keys, then it require more processing power. More power could be added to the underlying algorithm. So in this manner, if we are going to give power to someone in the real world, I am giving you just a layman example. If I am adding some power to any component, then it requires some complex procedures. So it requires some complex procedures, or it require more current. and in order to give him more current, it require more processing. Because you can just have a look at your class. If one student is the topper of the class and another student is average, but both follow the different approach. The one who is the topper of the class, he is using various processing techniques, and in he is using his capabilities more, and he did not lost any opportunity in the way when he was on the process of attaining first position in the class. But on the other hand, if I am talking about a student who is just average and who generally miss the opportunities that are given to him, and in the end I am saying that it could be more powerful than it would not be the case. Practically it is not possible. So similarly, if I am using two keys, more power could be there, more processing power is also required, and more problem will be there in order to calculate the shared secret. So similarly, if I am choosing only one key, then it would be easy for me to deduce the same, and it require less computing power. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of the Diffie-Hellman exchange algorithm. Just have a look at those. I am giving you the time of 2 minutes. If you are having any query regarding this topic, you can ask me. So next is reference is given for the book that is available in the college library. You can get it issued and have a look at the book, because it is very a good book for those who want to go into the field of the network and security in future. So it is the book that is written by William Stallings, and it is available in the market. Oh, sorry, library. Get it issued from the library and have a look at all the contents that are being shared in the book. So next is MCQ that is given to you for your for assessing your understanding about this lecture. So 10 questions are there, and you are supposed to do those 10 questions in the time span of 20 minutes. So just have a look at all the questions, so that if you are having any query regarding the same, you can ask me. So I am dictating one by one each and every question. So if you do not get any question, then you can ask me, raise your hand, I will tell you. So the first question is, how many bytes of the secret key is generated using Diffie-Hellman encryption and decryption scheme? The first is how many bytes. So 256, 871, 1024, 962. You are supposed to take any one answer. Next is in the following in which of the following system encryption is slower than the decryption? Elliptic curve, parabolic curve, symmetric cryptography, anti-symmetric cryptography. Just wait. Have a look at this. Anti-symmetric cryptography. So next is, if there are 2 raised to power 56 ciphertext per plain text and a total of 2 raised to power 18 plain text of length 18 exist, then determine the number of distinct ciphertext. That could be 761, 2 raised to power 74, 186, or 2 raised to power 89. Next is T cipher uses which of the following structures? Standard cipher structure, pseudo-random structure, Feastel structure, or block structure. Now, this is the main question and important question that is given for your understanding. Fifth, let A's public key is n is equal to 6, 736, 180, 7817, 961, 456, 267, and encryption is 5. And B sends the ciphertext. So C is equal to 456, that is ciphertext, 871, 122, 391, 882, 538 to A. So determine the B message in numeric format. It would be difficult for you to compute because it requires time. It is not the task of 1 to 2 minutes. you can have a look at it, and you can compute it. After computing the same, you can send it to me via my email id, and my email id is already shared with you all. So next is sixth question in encryption. Which of the following is the best text encoding technique? A sky codes, hexadecimal encoding, unicode, or base 64 encoding? Next is dash are used as the base of the public key infrastructure. SSL certificates, TLS certificates, X.509 certificates, HAS certificates. Next is the default key size of RC2 Fistel cipher is 64 GB, 64 bit, 64 byte, 64 KB. Next is how many combinations of keys can be constructed from a 72 cipher text stream cipher. Next is so the options available are 4271, 7345, 3291, 2556. And the last question is, what is the block size of RC6 Fistel block cipher? It is 5013 bits, 128 bits, 596 bits, 1768 bits. So all the questions that have been given in the MCQ are already discussed in the topic. So I don't think there will be a difficulty for you to while you are attempting the MCQ. So there could be the it could be the case that you require more than enough time in order to compute the various mathematical calculations. That is okay. So that I am not telling you that you are supposed to send me the answers in 10 minutes. So I am giving you the extension of 30 minutes. So whenever you are done with the same, you can send it to my email id and in that sheet, in answer sheet, your name will be written, your SID will be written. So this was all about my today's lecture. Thank you. Have a nice day.